Thor.
Yes.
It's been mixed reviews as fuck on the internet. I'm just going to come out and say it. Taika Waititi does not fucking miss.
All right. So I only saw this last night. Classic horizontal behavior.
You just wanted it to be fresh in the mind. It's
So
good planning.
yeah, this is what I was saying the other day to my mate. I was like, I need to go watch Thor, and he's like, because I was explaining, I keep forgetting, and I was like, actually, no, it's just smart thinking. It's fresh in the mind for the episode. And I wish that was the case. It's not. It's just I forget. But obviously, this whole week, I've done my best to avoid any spoilers. The odd thing is like showing up on my feed of like people saying, I've seen one person was like, I don't think it was that great of a film. Then someone else is like, oh, that was an amazing film. I loved it. So I was like,
It's very hit or miss for people.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got to like Taika's style. You've got to like just the unbridled trying to be funny at all times.
Yeah. But I loved it.
Adore.
Yeah, I loved it. I guess, so getting into it's like the only thing that kind of, I love the film overall. The one part of it that I was like, this feels off was the opening bit with the Guardians of the Galaxy. Something
really?
about
I thought that set the tone quite nicely.
Yeah, it did, but there was just, I don't know what it, like, whether it was just some of the certain interactions, I was just like, this doesn't feel, whether because we were thrown straight into and we haven't.
Do you think it might have been because they maybe didn't shoot enough footage, so they didn't have, like, enough to really flesh that bit out?
Possibly. I feel like it could have done with a bit more of them, like, being a team together, because it kind of just felt like they were a team and then it was over so quick.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't see any of them actually just being, like, Thor with them. Which I get, they were, like, jumping ahead in time from things.
Yeah.
That was the only little bit.
Criticism.
That was the only only little bit. But then it's like, after that, I didn't like, I loved the whole thing. I loved everything else after that.
So, I mean, Tessa Thompson, Natalie Portman, Chris Hemsworth, phenomenal performances, as well as Christian Bale. I thought they were all excellent in their role. I don't think anyone can criticize their acting. If you don't like the film, that's fine. Their acting was still brilliant.
Oh yeah.
If you don't like the film, it's an issue you've got with the script and the direction, not with their performances.
Agreed.
I'd like, even if you don't like the film, I don't think you can say any of them did a bad job. If you don't like the film, I feel like the only valid criticisms for a person would be their preference over like the style and stuff.
Yeah, you're just now a huge fan of Takiti's style.
The only real criticism I've seen that I kind of agree with, but at the same time wasn't a big issue for me personally, was Gore the God Butcherer. We didn't really get to see him butcher any gods.
I have that literally as a note. I loved Gore. I just wish we could have seen him killing some of the gods.
Yeah, and I completely agree, especially bearing in mind the runtime was quite short based on what we've got used to. They could have given us 5 minutes of him cutting shit up. Don't get me wrong, for me personally, it wasn't too big of an issue because I could still buy into him being a genuine threat, but it is at the same time an invalid criticism.
Yeah, I feel like it, knowing as well that they had filmed a bunch of things with Gore and other gods makes me feel like they have those scenes.
And they decided not to use them.
Whether they just didn't feel like they fit properly or they just weren't happy with what they did film. Who knows? But like, I do feel it would have been nicer, that little bit nicer to have some of those, like at the start of the film, him killing more than just that one god, the sun god that he worshipped or used to worship. Because then it kind of adds to the threat of, oh, he's hunting the gods down now.
Yeah. But other than that, I thought it was amazing. I thought the fight scenes in the negative zone.
Oh, yeah.
Were gorgeous. Just the occasional splash of color when like something happened.
So smartly done. And it was funny because it's like, as soon as they arrived there, I was like, oh, that's why there's the black and white scenes in the trailer. And it made like total sense now. And yeah, the use of, I was just going to say, like you said, the use of color and the choice of being like the orange, yellow, and blue were such strong colors to like really help show what was going on in the fight and stuff.
I do have one very large complaint though.
Oh.
in the trailer we saw a scene of what I assume now was the fight at the God City, where Valkyrie licked the blood off of her sword, and we didn't get that in the final cut.
Oh.
And I am filing a complaint.
Well,
how that didn't make the final cut is beyond me, and I'm actually a bit disgusted.
The fight in Omnipotence, that place.
Omnipocity.
Yeah.
Or whatever the fuck it was, yeah.
I wonder if that wasn't in there, because if you paid attention when they were fighting the guards, it wasn't, they were just like evaporating into gold.
Yeah, but they were leaving the goldy kind of blood stuff on the blades. Because it was all over their body at the end as they were leaving.
True, it was. I was going to say, maybe they just changed the direction on like having blood or not.
Yeah, I don't know. But anyway.
Could have been like, it could have also been because they wanted to show Chris Hemsworth, but if they also showed blood and other things, it bumped the rating past a threshold.
Yeah, maybe.
Because you usually only allowed like so many scenes on like.
I thought that was brilliant. I thought Russell Crowe as Zeus was fucking brilliant. I really enjoyed it.
I saw a really great, because he does like a modern sort of Greek accent, and I saw a thing online which was like, kind of makes sense if he's a modern Greek god why he doesn't care about the people anymore, because if you look to Greece now, no one worships the Greek gods anymore. So it makes sense like why he's such a, I don't care about the people anymore, because he has no one that worships him.
Yeah.
But I love that city. Cool. That city visually as an artist looks stunning. I love the design style of that place. Yeah, it looked exactly what you would expect for like the gods party city, the Vegas for the gods. I loved seeing all the different gods.
Mm-hmm.
Really, to me, really cool. Like,
one sec. Did you get the joke for Korg's god? Did you spot it?
Yes, that he's on the Iron Throne. Game of Thrones
scissors.
Reference, made of scissors, because Rock always beats scissors.
Brilliant. It made me laugh.
It was so good. I also love the dumpling god, because it's just the harsh contrast of just suddenly there's this dumpling god.
Yeah.
They really, almost look like animated-esque, which obviously we know from Doctor Strange, like they went through an animated universe. So it kind of plays into that sort of like visual style. Is like, oh yeah, we're fine with that now. But yeah, I was like, I recognize like Aztec gods and like Mayan gods because of when I've been to Mexico, like that design language. There was a giant serpent dragon in gold, which I'm wondering if I don't know if it's the same one from Shang-Chi or if it's the actual another like related god that's like linked with the Shang-Chi sort of world. There was obviously the Celestials were there. I don't know which ones they were, but
it was just two generic looking Celestials.
Trying to think who else there was. Cool. I think that was all I can remember. Like that stood out. There was so many.
I enjoyed the running joke of Stormbreaker being jealous.
Yes. And
just like creeping into scene and like giving him a dirty look. The personification of Mjolnir and Stormbreaker in this film make or break the film for me personally. I think it was so well done.
It was so well done, and it like adds to that whole playfulness, and that like yes, these are weapons, but actually they are like special weapon. Like they're not just your ordinary. That they shows that they have
connections.
Yeah. So I thought, yeah, that was great. And like when he poured the beer on it, and he was like, "Here, have your first drink."
Yeah, but correct me if I'm wrong. Like in the comment, is that not like quite a Viking tradition though, that they would bathe their weapons in alcohol after a successful like pillaging?
Most likely, I think there was so much like celebratory feasts and stuff. They probably did like pour beer and ale over themselves and over their weapons. I'm trying to think what else. I actually wasn't expecting Thor to throw the lightning rod through Zeus.
No, that surprised me as well.
I got that he wasn't gonna help. But yeah, I wasn't expecting him to just straight up. And in that moment, I was like, oh shit! Like, are we about to have gods fighting gods? Like a real big fucking fight.
God on God warfare.
I also love this. The screaming goats were so funny.
See, this is the thing. That the screaming goats decides whether this is your style of film or not. If you like the screaming goats, this is your film. If you don't like the screaming goats, you're not gonna like the film.
Oh, okay, that's like a good.
I think that's like an easy way to know. If you don't find every time you hear the goats scream in the distance funny, you're not gonna like the film.
Do you know what I think it is? Now this, I could be totally off with this, but it might be a generational thing of
Zoomer humor. Loud is funny.
Well, no, not. Well, I'm not a Zoomer. Do you know what I think it is? Do you not remember the Vines with the Taylor Swift song and the goat screaming? And it's like people that saw were that era and enjoyed that meme are gonna enjoy it. Like they find screaming goats funny because of that.
Yeah,
because that's exactly where my brain went when they were screaming.
There's no doubt that this film is divisive amongst the fan base. And don't get me wrong, I get right. This isn't everyone's style of film. Me and you personally fucking love it. But I understand some people aren't gonna like it. It doesn't make it a bad film just because you don't like it, though.
Oh no.
Don't get me wrong, there were some missteps, but I mean, no film is perfect. And at the end of the day, these films aren't supposed to be like pushing cinema forward. They're supposed to be fun films where you're invested in the characters and you care. I mean, try and have fun.
Like, even at the core of it, like the Marvel fans should be very happy in the fact that they kept Lady Thor true to why she became Thor.
Mighty Thor.
Sorry, Mighty Thor.
Thank you very much.
But like they like, because obviously we did the character profile on her, and
Mighty Thor's story was the same. Gore the God Butcher's story was the same.
Yeah.
Also,
like they true to the key points.
Did you spot who was playing Gore's daughter?
No, but I felt like I recognized.
It's Chris Hemsworth's daughter.
Oh, so I probably just recognized her from like pictures that she's been in with him.
So we were leaving the cinema, I was like, I'm 99% sure that Gore's daughter is actually Chris's daughter in real life. And I was like, and do you want to know, like, I felt like I'd seen her face before anyway, but I was also like, the shoes thing, like in like the
it was too real.
I'm pretty sure in an interview before he said that his daughter was really bad for putting her shoes on.
That is good.
So yeah, and I was like, so either they've taken that story and used it in the film, or it was like a funny thing because it was his daughter.
I mean, it also makes sense, like that scene where he was being Uncle Thor, like that whole put your shoes on. As someone who, like, my sister has a little kid that's 2, and it's like that rebellious of like, no, I don't want to do it. Like it was so real and so like relatable to see. I mean, obviously, if it's his actual daughter, like, yeah, they're gonna have that chemistry already.
I also loved the way it made it seem like they were at New Asgard and she was about to be going to like her first day of school.
Yes.
And then the door opened and she's got Stormbreaker and they're like, let's go fuck up some bad people.
I was like, oh, he's getting her ready to go to like new school and she's got to like, and then the door opens and it's just a battlefield. I was like, oh, she's going to Thor's school.
and the fact that like the Love and Thunder gets played into it like that, beautiful.
I also loved when they were going to like I forget what they called the place in the center of everything.
The negative zone.
No, not the negative zone. Where they went to Gore was trying to get. I can't remember the name of it now.
By the way, that was a comic accurate depiction of Eternity, them statues.
Eternity, that was it.
Eternity is literally God. And not like God in the sense of like Thor is the God and stuff. I mean God as in when creator you believe in that one being that is the creator of everything. Yeah, that's Eternity.
Yeah. I loved the way the whole thing of Thor giving the kids power. Like Thor's power, and he was like,
a lot of people hated it. I fucking loved it.
I thought it was great because I was like, he's getting these kids to get all these weapons. Like, this is just going to be a bloodbath. Like, I was like, what is he expecting to happen here? Is he just like trying to morale boost them or something? And then he's like, he's like, give them the power. They are worthy. Give them the power for the time being, just for a little while.
I personally love the teddy bear with laser eyes.
Yes, because everyone had like a weapon. And she's just there with a teddy bear, and I was like, oh, this is gonna go wrong.
She was just so scared she couldn't move, so she was clutching her teddy bear.
And then became like laser eye teddy bear.
Yeah.
I loved that.
So good.
Also loved
so good.
Heimdall's son Axel, how he's becoming the new Heimdall. Like he's getting his powers, and that's gonna obviously play into the future. He's gonna be useful in the future for being able to travel around again.
Yeah.
What else?
Obviously, we got Hercules in one of the post-credit scenes.
I lost my shit. Because obviously we've talked about Hercules in
so much.
Yeah, we've talked about
so ahead of the curve.
We were like, I was like, I'd love to see Hercules. We've done him in our superhero showdowns. I even joked about I'd like to play Hercules.
Yeah.
And then the first post-credit scene, there's like Zeus is alive, and I'm like, oh shit, Zeus isn't dead. He's being healed.
Who's he talking to?
And then I was like, of course he's not dead. He's a god. Like it was like, why am I surprised? And then I thought he was just talking in general to the women around him. Yeah. And then he's like, go hunt.
Make them fall from the sky.
Yeah. And it pans over, and immediately I went, oh shit, it's Hercules.
I'm really not sure about the casting choice though. The guy's face just didn't look right.
I wondered if, I mean, the lighting of that scene was a bit odd, and it might not. They were obviously trying to reveal it, but not fully reveal Hercules in a way. So it might have been the lions to lay it down a bit on that. What you mean? It did feel like I was like, oh shit, it's Hercules. Like, but
very
it did.
Comic accurate suit though.
Yes, and he had his mace.
Yeah. I mean, the costume itself looked good. It was just the face didn't quite look right. But I mean, it might be because all this time I've been imagining your face.
And just a big beard or something.
Yeah.
I mean, that could change. So
I'm not gonna lie though. Like, obviously, I don't think you'd have been able to keep it a secret from me.
Oh,
like, if you would have rocked up Hercules
can you
in that
imagine
scene and not told me, I might have killed you.
And could you? I also thought this one. I was like, imagine it was me, and I hadn't gone to any premieres, hadn't told you, and I even went the night, like I left it to like a Wednesday night to go see my own film or something that I'm gonna be in. You would have been so mad if I was just like, oh shit. I actually don't.
I almost forgot. Thanks for reminding me.
Well, no, the thing is, you would have, like, we wouldn't have waited. Like, I might have waited till yesterday to watch it, but like after you'd seen that, if it had been me, I know for a fact you would have been spamming me, being like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah. Do you know what I would have been doing before that? I'd have been fucking spoiling it for everyone on the internet and plugging the fuck out of the podcast. By the way, Act Playing Hercules has a nerd podcast.
I feel like you'd be more mad at the fact, not that I didn't tell you, but that I didn't go to like premieres or get you to any for the content.
Yeah. Oh, I'm genuinely livid. Genuinely livid.
Imagine somewhere in the world there's a multiverse where that happens.
Oh, 100%.
And then we got the second post-credit scene,
which I thought was gorgeous.
Yeah. Do you know? So when they're in when they're in the water plane and Gore makes his wish or whatever, and Thor goes back to Jane and she dies. Spoiler alert. She turns to dust, and in my head I was like, I wonder if because she wielded Mjolnir, I always struggle with saying Mjolnir. I was like, I wonder if that's her going to, because obviously she's not died in a human way. Like, I wonder if that was her going to Valhalla. Didn't think anything of it, and then we get the post-credit scene, the second one, and she's in Valhalla.
So it's really interesting. I've seen people complaining about that being an unnecessary post-credit scene, and then you've seen other people on the internet just going, "Hey, fuck faces! They're saying people suffering with cancer are warriors, you dickheads."
Yeah, it's like that, and it also, that's like the first time we're seeing like Valhalla, which I saw a good point was that now adds in that all these gods are we know from this film that each god has their own set of people that worship them and they look after. So every god's religion and everything about them is true, which means there's a Valhalla. There's also hell. And then there's every other one of these gods, and whatever religion they have, there is their realm, existence or whatnot, which I think is really cool. Also interested to see. That means now that she's in Valhalla, whenever it comes to Thor, if MCU decides to kill him and he ends up in Valhalla, they will be reunited. I also saw theories of wondering if Tony Stark's there
in Valhalla
because of what he did.
In Norse mythology, he would be, but I don't know if you have to believe in it or if, like, so obviously to get to Valhalla you have to die in battle. Maybe everyone who dies in battle goes to Valhalla, whether they believed in Valhalla or not.
Yeah, it was like a theory because he fought alongside Thor and stuff, and that whether he has ended up there. But
well, I mean, everyone said that's why Thor wasn't seen crying at Tony's funeral, because he wasn't sad for him because he got to go to Valhalla.
Yeah.
It's an interesting thing to think about.
There was this is reminding me. There's a point when they're walking along and when they get to Omnipotent City and they're pointing out gods, and they say, "Oh, there's the god of carpentry." Do you know what the theory I've seen that is? That's actually it's referencing Jesus.
Yeah.
But it's like the MCU doesn't want to explicitly say Jesus and all that because they know that that's opening a can of worms for certain people.
Jesus being the god of carpentry is fucking brilliant as far as I'm concerned.
I thought that was a great little way of saying it without having to explicitly say it, so they can deny it if they need to. I'm trying to think of anything else. Oh, Korg. I thought it was funny that he died and then it was just his face, and it turns out the face is the only thing that's alive on there.
Also, the Dwayne the Rock joke.
Yes, I was gonna say that. He was there. He told us about how they make babies, and then they're there over a lava pool, and he's like, "I'm here with Dwayne," and I was like, "It's Dwayne the Rock. It's a joke."
Yeah, Jen didn't get that joke.
No.
It went straight over her head.
I immediately laughed.
I looked her in the eye laughing, and she just stared at me like, "I don't get it." I was like, "Dwayne the Rock," and she was like, oh, "Okay, go again." I was like,
such a good little joke. Do you know what would have been better? If they got Dwayne the Rock Johnson to voice him.
I mean, he didn't say anything, so there's nothing stopping.
I thought didn't ask. No, he didn't. So can you imagine he comes back, and that was their way of being like, Dwayne, do you want to be in the MCU? Do you wanna be the voice of Dwayne the Rock?
Bit of voice acting work. But no, I mean, like I said, obviously the film is very divisive, but I enjoyed it.
Same.
If it's not for you, it's not for you. But for me, fucking brilliant. Not as good as Ragnarok. Let me be clear. Ragnarok is a fucking masterpiece, but it's definitely the second best Thor film.
Yeah. Did you see the thing about because obviously at the end of it says Thor will return.
Yeah, Taika and Chris had no idea.
Yeah, they didn't know.
Yeah.
Which I thought was funny, but
I take that with a pinch of salt because although they've said it, Taika's also known to have a laugh with people. So he might have exacerbated it slightly. I think how little they knew.
Yeah.
I can't imagine they're saying Thor will return if Chris doesn't know that he's still under contract.
Well, I also was thinking Thor returning doesn't necessarily mean his own film.
No, it doesn't.
He could show up in something else.
Yeah, exactly. He might just be in the next Avengers film.
Or even anything else. It could be in any he could rock up in a TV show now apparently because that's a thing. The main characters are crossing into TV shows, so
but yeah, no, it's very, very enjoyable. And I think that's all I've really got to say about it at this point.
There's nothing else.
If you enjoyed Ragnarok, if you've enjoyed any kind of Taika Waititi films, I suggest you give it a go because you'll probably enjoy it because it's very his style. But I saw a good comment about people who didn't like Multiverse of Madness don't like Sam Raimi's style. And because they're allowing directors to put their own style on Marvel films now, you're going to get more films that are 50-50 because the director's style is going to make or break it for people.
Yeah, they're moving
Sam
away
Raimi's
from
style
that
of the cheesy horror film is make or break for some people.
Yeah, they're moving away from the very strict Marvel style of a film, so that they are becoming more standalone creative. Like each one's a bit more of its own film, which is obviously the right direction. But yeah, like you say, some people are gonna like certain films from one director, but maybe not the other. But I mean, overall, they're all gonna add to the story and they're all gonna play a part. So